to Born for the Trails. I'm your host, Mandeep Bhalla, and sitting virtually next to my co-host Shreya.
Hi, everybody.
All right, today we have amazing guest on our podcast. So our guest today is Victor Rancour, CEO of Profit Rocket Group. Is a renowned business scaler. He launched Absolute Airflow in 2018, culminating in a successful exit in 2023. Victor's influence extends to the Profit Rocket Business Blueprint, a network facilitating effective business scaling. Welcome, Victor, to our show.
Hey, what's going on, Mandeep and Shreya, man? I'm excited to have you guys on or have be on the podcast. And obviously I've been watching what you guys are doing. I think you guys are doing something awesome for the trades, and I'm just excited to be a guest. So thanks for having me on.
Join us as we dive deep into the world of home service entrepreneurship, interacting with industry leaders, coaches, and entrepreneurs about their experiences, challenges, and victories. Through their inspiring stories, we hope to equip our listeners with the tools and knowledge they need to succeed in the competitive home service industry. So whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, tune in to Born for the Trades podcast for invaluable insight and real-world inspiration.
We were excited. We were excited. We have been waiting for, this episode. Finally, you're here. And let's start with your journey, man. And can you tell us about starting Absolute Airflow to becoming the CEO of Profit Rocket Group?
Yeah, man. I mean, obviously, I told my story a lot and obviously in different variations and stuff like that. And I got it, I got my book coming out hopefully in November. I've been going through going through the couple different versions of it over the last couple of days. But yeah, I mean, obviously just like most people, man, like you start a home service business, you don't really have a plan. You just think that, your boss makes a bunch of money and it's bullshit. And, why is he making all that money? And I want to make money for myself. And then eventually you get the balls to do it. And that's kind of what happened, man. I had an entrepreneurial seizure, started my business in August 2018. And like I said, I had no plan or any business degree or literally any really understanding of how to run a home service business. I knew how to sell a lot of stuff. And that's kind of what got me by, man. I was able to sell my way out of a lot of trouble and sell my way out of a lot of situations. And, obviously, as, me and Shreya know, right, as being a sales trainers, right, and working for sales training organizations, how important sales is to a business, because without sales, you can't do anything. So I decided to, have an entrepreneurial seizure in August 2018. I quit my job. I was one of the top sales guys in the country, and I made a lot of money doing it. And I decided to quit my job and start my journey as an entrepreneur. And I went through a lot of struggles and a lot of growing pains, because for some reason I'm a little psycho. And I decided that I didn't want to just like run a little business where it's me and my buddies and we're, doing a couple installs a month. Like I wanted to start out really fast and grow a big business. So, we started in August. By January 2019, we had already done over $1 million in revenue in the first, less than 4 months of business. And from there, we just kept scaling. Like I just have for me, like I just had a belief that I wanted to grow the biggest and best company in the country. And that's kind of what drove me every day. So, a lot of people that start out, they're like, well, what do you do first? And I was like, well, first you gotta figure out how to get customers. So I became very good at that. So acquiring customers and talent is kind of what I'm good at, and figuring out, how to get customers. Cause like one of the big things, like most people do, they're like, well, hiring a digital marketing agency, it's important, right? You got to hire the right one. And I went through a bunch of bad ones. And, I know Mandeep runs a great organization over there. And it's like, you go through all these digital marketing companies and you're hoping and praying that they're going to bring you leads. But in reality, when you start out, it comes down to the owner and the operator that has to drive the business. So, I use a lot of my personal connections, friends, family, social media, whatever I could to get in front of customers. And then when I got in front of customers, I converted them. And that's that's kind of the secret sauce to business. Like I didn't hope and pray my marketing company was going to give me leads. Hey, whatever they got me was great, right? I'm going to help drive traffic to that website. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to you as the business owner that's making the decision, right? Like, so, I started my business. Year one, we ended up doing over $5 million in revenue, literally from scratch. Like I didn't buy a business.
Wow.
I literally came up with the idea, started the business, didn't know how to run a business, but I was able to come up with $5 million the first year, just off of grit, right? Grit and sales ability. And every year we more than doubled for the next couple of years. So went from 5 million to 12.5 million to over 20 million to and then obviously at my exit this year, we had done about $65 million over that 4.5 year period. But yeah, I mean, the main thing along the way though was, I use social media to grow my business. So like from everything from Facebook community groups to posting videos online so people would share them and follow me and like my stuff. And that's kind of what I did to grow my business. And then obviously that's what led into what I do now, because I leverage social media for my own personal business, but along the way, I somehow managed to build a personal brand that I didn't even realize I was building half the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I was going to ask you, it's funny because of your presence on social media, being the guy in the trades that is getting amazing views on TikTok, the Profit Rocket group you have on Facebook. Just your opinion on the effects of social media in the trades industry and, the different strategies that you use either as a vendor or as an owner and how to leverage that. So any tips that you have for anybody, because you seem to really be the best at it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, obviously social media is a powerful tool, right? And I think, you're seeing more now. I think I kind of, spearheaded it, to be quite frank. Like, I think if you really think about it, like an influencer in the home service trade just sounds freaking weird, but that's literally what I become,
I know.
I was in, actually a celebrity poker tournament in Vegas like a week ago. And it's like all these like famous, like Bryce Hall and all these like famous, like
Mhm.
TikTok and
Mhm.
Instagram and YouTube people, and they got millions and millions of followers. And I'm trying to explain to them what I do, and they're just like, they couldn't fathom, like, so like you're like
Right.
talk to like contractors, and you're like I'm like, yeah, like you're an influencer for like little kids living in their mom's basement. Like I'm an influencer for grown men and businesses. And so it was kind of like funny, like trying to like get it through and get him to understand it. But it's funny, right? Like I think that's one of the things that I'm going to talk about, like in my book, is obviously the influence you can have, right? And I think that's going back and forth on titles and stuff. And I think if we want to talk about, like, that might be part of what the title is, the influencer part, right? Like that's what I've become. And so I leveraged it not only on, my own business, and I keep in mind, and I'll talk a little bit more about that, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I leveraged it for my own business. Like from the very beginning, the first thing I did, I was like, how do I get in front of people? Well, I used all my network and my contacts. So I took everybody in my phone. I let them know, hey, I started an HVAC business, right?
Mhm.
And that's how I
Right.
got my first customers. Every single person I've ever talked to in my entire life. Like I went through every person. I text them. Hey, I started a business. Anybody that needs AC? Texted every single person. The next thing I did, I said, okay, well, I'm gonna start posting on social media. I mean, at that point, I didn't have a big following, just like anybody else. Maybe I had 800, 900 people that were my friends, family, people I went to high school with, stuff like that. So it wasn't like I started with all these people, right? So I had a little bit of a following, and so I started posting Facebook Live videos. That's when Facebook Live was just like starting out. So I started leveraging that. I'd do Facebook Live videos from inside an attic and talking about ductwork and how we do it. And like I'd be like, oh, I find bad ductwork, and I'd show like, hey, might be what's going on in your attic. If you want, I can come out and do a free inspection and see if this is happening in your attic, things like that.
Right.
Then I started getting
Awesome.
into the Facebook community groups, because those are actually the most powerful lead source you can get. So those Facebook community groups really run the trades. If you didn't know that, they really do. So you can
They
spend all
do.
the money in
Hmm.
the world, but if you don't dominate those little mom groups and all that stuff on Facebook, you're losing out on hundreds of thousands of dollars a month minimum. So I started leveraging those groups, and one of the things I teach my clients now, and you guys are my clients now if you're listening to this. So like, check this out. Like I create every month. I do a video. I have my clients create a Facebook reel. If you
Yeah.
want, you can send me the raw copy. I'll edit it for you. If you're listening to this, I'll do it for free. Just send me the video. I'll edit it for you. And all it is giving information every month. So instead of going into your community group and saying, here, come call me for a $59 tune-up, I'll go in and say, hey, by the way, it's October. We're coming out of summer. This is the best time of the year to change out your air filter because X, Y, and Z. If you
Mhm.
Value added content.
value added content, I do it in every Facebook community group locally. And I'll even take my employees. So my employees, like say my employees live in different cities, right? I'll have their wives post a video into their community group and say my husband, like just get them to think it's their husband, right?
Right.
And I do that, and I do it in all these community groups, and all of a sudden the people start seeing the videos. And what I'll do is I'll add a link. Hey, if you want a free air filter, click the link, give me your name, email, and phone number. My team will reach out. We'll actually bring out a filter and change it for you, so you don't have to worry about it. And then we're collecting all this data and turning in those customers. So this is something I've been doing for a while now at all my locations, and it's actually become very. And this is probably I probably shouldn't give it away for free, but this is what I've been doing. It's been dominating markets. So now I own. Obviously, I sold my interest in my business out here in Southern California. But I do have 12 other locations nationally in 10 different markets currently. And we use this stuff in every community. Like, you got to understand, like, guerrilla marketing is one of the most important parts of growing a business, especially if you're new. So yeah, so I use those. Those are things that you can do for free, right? And then there's different ways to get in front of people. For California, like Yelp was big, right? So Yelp, I was able to get leads right away. And I started putting, like, I always said, it was like putting money in the bank. Getting reviews is putting money in the bank, right? Like money, like
Right.
reviews, one review doesn't matter, but the more you put in the bank, eventually it's going to start paying you back. So obviously I went really heavy on reviews and customer service. And then if you're a small company, just look bigger than you are, right? So like people kind of like, I remember when I first started, I got my trucks wrapped right away. We had a different logo originally, but we got our trucks wrapped. We were in nice uniforms. We had doormats. We had presentation books when we were in the house. We had all the stuff that big companies had, but there's only like 4 of us. I see so many contractors that are in that small scale. They just look like a small scale contractor, and you got to dress for the job that you want, right? And for me, like a lot of guys don't dress for the job they want, and that's why they don't ever get the job they want. So those are things that I would do if I'm a small contractor right now. Those are things you can literally do for pennies on the dollar. Put your guys in nice uniforms. Make sure they do their hair. Make sure they don't look like crap. Make sure they look presentable. Make sure they have the tools they need. I stress this to contractors all the time, is that if you send your team into a house and you don't give them every tool to succeed, it is not their fault that they fail. It is yours. And
Totally.
the quicker that you realize that
Yeah.
it's on you, them, then that's when you can start winning. And too many of these guys are they don't give their guys the proper tools, or like they got sales guys going into a house that don't have a presentation book, aren't able to quote on the job. They have to they got to call their boss for financing. Like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Cause so many roadblocks in that decision making process that it's going to be impossible to get to scale. So things like this is what we teach our contractors over at Profit Rocket, and how to put these things in place so you can have a scalable business that can scale fast and be very profitable and be something that you can actually enjoy. Too many of you
Yeah.
guys you guys have a job, you don't have a business. And I just had a conversation with a guy. He's he's actually in a random group. I don't even know how he got added into it. And he started talking about acquisitions, and he's talking about this business in Minnesota he wants to go buy. And the guy wants $1.5 million for a business that's got 3 employees, one of which is his son, and his wife working in his office, and wants $1.5 million for it. Like, that's how irrational some guys are nowadays.
No, it's good. It's it's good. Look at your like social media growth and whatever you just shared. I hope like to the listeners, if you are listening, if you can implement just like even 1% of it, you can definitely take your business to the next level. And I met someone at Profit Rocket last year, and he's our client Derek, and he mentioned, and we just posted on social media that his business got changed like after listening to you, and you gave him like really good advice. So you are definitely impacting a lot of lives and businesses.
I think the
It's
funniest part about social
Yeah,
media,
go
to
ahead.
be honest, is that like, dude, like if I post about like a Lamborghini and I talk about a Lamborghini, I'll get like 100,000 views. And if I drop $1 million worth of business knowledge, I'll get like 1,000 views. So I think
Yeah.
it's kind of funny. Like I was just talking about this over the weekend. It's like, dude, I can get like that information I just spit out 2 minutes ago would drive millions of dollars of your business if you implement it. But I
Right.
bet you 99.9% of the people listening to this podcast will never implement any of that stuff. They'll talk about it. They're like, that's a great idea, but I bet you it never gets implemented. And that's the difference between winners and losers, is implementation.
Right.
Yeah.
Implement absolutely. And I think like I would say Profit Rocket, like Profit Rocket Group is definitely something, major thing in your entrepreneurial journey. So what are your mission and goals of this group? Like what is your plan?
So it's kind of funny. So obviously that Facebook group started out of desperation, because I was pissed that I got kicked out of all these other groups. I got kicked out because they didn't like how I was talking. I was like, well, first off, I'm driving a lot of people to your group already, because I posted more in there than anybody else, and like, Service Einsteins and these other ones. And I was the one posting, and I was the one that was driving people to want to come to it. And keep in mind, I was like 20, I was just like 31 years old at the time. And I was very brash and a little out there, a little fucking wild. And I said crazy shit. So I probably deserved to get kicked out. But like, that's who I was back then. Like, I've obviously, I'm still a little wild, but I got a little smarter on things that I do and I say, and how I say it and how I present it. But back then, like I drove a lot of business. I'm like, okay, well, you kicked me out of your group. I'll just start my own group. Right. And
Right.
I think we've gone through like 5 different names on the damn thing, but it started off like as like a sales group. And then it grew
Mhm.
into like a business owner in sales. And then we kind of changed it a couple times. But obviously from day one, like unlike the other groups that are all pay for play, like I don't charge people to post in my group. I don't, like, I let people be themselves. I try not to, like, the only stuff that I'll block out is like if it's like some spam bot shit, but like I just let everybody be open forum. I let people market in there. I let them do whatever they want, obviously, as long as they're being, they listen. But the main thing is, like, I wanted a space where everybody can come communicate in the trades and be able to get free knowledge. And I try to post as much of free stuff as I can in the group. And when I got time, like, obviously I got a pretty busy schedule, but for the most part, like if I come up with a new, if I am like, I found this thing that works, I just post in the group and say, hey, this is working in my market, or hey, this is happening over here, or whatever it is. So I try to make it a free group. And my goal is to grow it. We're almost at 6,000 now. My goal is to get to, probably 6,000-7,000 by the end of the year, and just continue to get, bring in people and get knowledge. And I think a lot of people, you don't realize, even you, Mandeep or Shreya, or like, you don't know who you're impacting. And I think
Yeah.
that's like been the biggest thing, is that as I start traveling and speaking and I'm talking to these people, they're like, hey, I've been following you for 3 years. You made this big impact on my business. I never met these people. They never bought anything from me, but the stuff that we give out for free is valuable. And that's kind of what I want to keep doing. I want to keep giving out stuff for free. Obviously, I hope at one point they become clients of mine and understand like what we're trying to build. I think the group that we're building right now, as far as it's a best practice organization, is going to be one of the biggest and best in the trades, and just going to keep moving forward. And that's what my goal is, and that's my goal with the events too. Like, if you guys look at my lineup, it might not be some of the biggest names out there. I mean, obviously we have Tim Grover and Marcus Luttrell. Those are big like names nationally people know, but I built my entire lineup out of something where you can come to this event, get actionable stuff, not rah bullshit. Come in and get actionable stuff that you can implement in your business and go win the day, win the month, win the year next when you leave there. And I think that's the difference that separates us from our events. But also we kind of bring stuff into the forefront, right? So many industry, like all these organizations are so freaking antiquated, dude. I don't like to say all their names, but I've been through almost every trade organization. And a lot of this stuff is so backwards or so old school thinking that like my companies, my partners are fucking running people over. We are market disruption because they're coming in, we're doing new stuff, new ideas. It's not just rinse and repeat of the same old stuff. Yeah, a lot of stuff is like evergreen, right? There's a lot of things like financials and KPIs that are evergreen, but how we go to business, how we attract customers, and how we do things is completely different than most of our competitors. And that's why my companies run over these other companies. I mean, I got like Summit Air Conditioning in Vegas. They did 1.9 million last year. We did 2.6 million last month. Like that's the difference. You come in and you implement stuff and you get it done.
Yeah. And the Profit Rocket Growth Summit, that's how me and Mandeep met for the first time and had that, 2 a.m. Vegas conversation of a podcast sort of thing over some roulette and cigars. So it's like, we already have the experience of these kind of, these events, especially that one. Being one of the best events that I've ever been to, I could truly say. And Tim Grover is probably my favorite author, so I'm really excited to go see that. So if you want to cover some more about the summit this year, how it maybe differs from last year, and what people could hope to expect at that one.
Yes, I mean, obviously, this is my third big event that I threw. We started out year one was a Service Hero event in Las Vegas with Grant Cardone and stuff like that, and that was kind of like getting my feet wet, right? Like it was a good event. It was really just kind of real budget, like trying to. Obviously, I didn't know what I was doing, right? But we still throw a great event. It was still a lot of knowledge, and obviously, we make things a lot of fun too. Like you go to some of these some events. Well, they can't cuss. They got to be very PC. Like it's not very exciting. It's an older crowd, but we for some reason are able to attract a younger crowd, the next generation of contractors.
Yeah.
And that's what I kind of built this event around the next generation of contractors. Like obviously we want the old generation to come in too, to see what the young generation's doing. Because obviously it does make a difference. And there's a reason why there's a lot of, sub 30-year-old guys that are dominating their markets. And so, obviously last year we had a great event in Vegas as well. From obviously the speakers, everything on the stage, the excitement, the crowd. And as you guys know, any event, right? Like the stuff on the stage is amazing. You get great content, but it's a lot of times the relationships and stuff that you do on the outside. So I build my events around.
Networking is huge.
So I build my events around that idea, right? So like we have our welcome reception when you come in. Austin will be on the 27th. That night we have a welcome reception. We have an open bar, rooftop party, and I got live band playing. But you get to come mingle with some of the best owners, operators, sales trainers, motivators in the entire country or world at that point. So you get to come in, meet with all these people, start building relationships and getting around people that have done bigger things than you. I didn't start thinking bigger until I started getting around people that did bigger things. Like the first time when I got on Ken Goodrich's jet and I'm like, this is possible from the trades. I want a jet, right? You get around someone that's doing 5 million, you're only doing 500,000. Well, how'd you get to 5 million? Okay. Well, he's going to give you those actionable steps. And I think that what we've created with Profit Rocket is more of an open forum where old school thinking was like, hey, we're going to hold all of our knowledge in. Well, we cracked that open and we've allowed, like, now everybody's starting to share their information and being able to, I think the information is being shared faster than ever, obviously between social media and just like, guys being more open to doing that. So you get around people that have already done what you're trying to do. It makes it a lot easier to get there. And then obviously the speakers that we have, I built it for everybody. So I built it from, if you bring your sales team, I got my sales track, the sales trainers that I have in there from Joker, Sarah, myself, and others that are going to be in there teaching your sales team are amazing. Then I got operations and call center training and all that stuff that's going to go on as well. And then the main stage is all the business stuff, right? We have some of the best operators in the country. And I also built it around, and I obviously I built it around different markets. So like, hey, a lot of guys are like, well, I'm in a small market. Okay, well, I actually have a panel that's going to talk about how they dominated a small market, right? They're going to talk about the actionable things that they did to take over their small market and grow to become the market leader. So stuff like that is what we do. Try to make it a little bit different than the other events. And then we have our after party. So if you get one of the party passes or VIP, you get access to our after party on night 2, which is the 28th. And obviously we throw some big.
Those are sick.
The after parties are
Those
all.
are. I still
If you guys
remember
know
from
anything
the
about me,
last
man,
year one. Yeah.
I know how to throw a party, and that's what I've been known for my entire life. And some people might say that might be like, oh, that's why I don't like Victor because he's a little wild. But I know how to throw a party. So if you guys want to have some fun, we're gonna have some fun. And it's not all about partying. It's about actionable stuff. But you got to understand, like, we just all came out of it's been a weird year, right? It's been a rough summer. We're all tired. We're all this up. My event's about a celebration, man. Celebrate all the wins. Celebrate the wins, the losses, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Come on, wine. Get away from your business. Separate from it. And get ready to go into shoulder season and dominate. And that's what our goal is. Like, when you get out of here, you're going to be ready to dominate the next couple months, roll it into next year and go have the best year you ever had in 2024. And
Outstanding. Outstanding. And thank you, Victor, for inviting us for podcasting. It's gonna be fun there too. Live podcast.
Yeah, we have a podcast room. So obviously Born for the Trades is going to be there. We have a couple other podcasts are going to be there. So we're able to, jump on, get some interviews, and, you guys get an opportunity to get your brand out there. So if you guys are looking to grow a personal brand, right, you should get out there, right? You get around these people, you should like bring your camera guy, bring your camera, do some interviews, do stuff like that where you can start posting on your Facebook Reels. Because one of the other things that's happened, by default, right? I started posting all these social media videos. What do you think became easier? What do you think happened by a byproduct of me posting all the time? Not me just making money and getting clients, but what else happened to my businesses? Anybody guess?
What happened?
The biggest problem in our industry right now is recruiting and getting talent, right? Well, guess what, dude? I get any market that I go into and I say, hey, look, I'm in Vegas now, dude. I got lying around the door for people that want to come work for me because they see my social media content. You become a star, dude. The new stars are on your phone. The new stars aren't on the TV screen anymore. That's not on it's not on channel 11 anymore. The new stars are on social media because people think this is TV now. And you have an opportunity that you can post and get on social media and post consistently 2-3 videos a day. Doesn't matter what you're talking about. Just be about whatever you like and whatever you do. You are going to dominate the next couple of years because you are going to become the new star. And you could be the star of your own damn show. You just have to take the opportunity to do it. And that's what's happened to me. Like, I decided that I'm going to become a star. And I figured out what my audience was, what my avatar was. And I started talking about those things, and I'll get those people to follow me. And then that's what happens. Your life is just going to take off.
100%. Last year, that was like Profit Rocket, my first ever, event, for Grow Nearby, where I met Shreya, and everyone at that rooftop party, everyone was like coming to me. And that's the power of video. I might be posting content like you. And I think that goes in the subconscious mind, video content. And I think that's what home service industry, they should be producing value added content. And you are the best example, Victor.
I call it the Deion Sanders effect, right? Why do you think people want to come for Deion? They know Deion, right? They see his stuff, they know what he's about. And guess what? You should talk about what you're about and what you stand for, and people are going to want to come work for that. And I think I said there's a big opportunity in that. And if you can't do it, I mean, you're gonna get ran over by your competition that can. By some 23-year-old kid's gonna come over and kick your fucking ass.
I'm glad you brought up recruitment, because I think that people that might misunderstand why there are even influencers in the industry and think that's such a bad word, also say that we need more people in the industry. We need the next generation to want to be in the trades. How are they going to get that message if it's not for influencers on social media? It's impossible to reach that generation without going with the times and getting with it, right?
All those kids are on social media, and I think that's the impact too. Is I don't know the direct impact, and it's not measurable, right? So if you can't measure it, it might not be true. But I know that the amount of people that have hit me up that want to get into trades because of my videos is astronomical. And not even just that want to start businesses, that people that just want to get into HVAC. So dude, you can make money in HVAC. That sounds freaking awesome. Right. So there's a lot of impact that happens between what I do, Tommy Mello, even Lance Bachman, these other guys. Man, we're putting the trades back out there, letting people know there's another route they can go. They don't have to go to college. They don't have to do this stuff. I suggest going to college because guess what? If you got a business degree, then you go into trade, you're going to have a better opportunity. right? Or whatever it is. But I'm okay with further education, but there is another option. You can go there, become successful without it. Dude, I barely graduated high school. Like I literally barely graduated high school. Like they were about to like not let me walk and not let me graduate. So I barely graduated high school, and I'm a 34-year-old multimillionaire. So the opportunity is there. It's just you have to seize the opportunity and make it happen. And without the influencers, without people like me and Tommy, these other guys letting people know there's an opportunity in the trades like this, people aren't going to know. And then those people aren't going to get in the trades. And what's going to happen? You're going to go have to start installing your own damn air conditioning because the next generation ain't going to show up.
Right,
Totally.
right. No, totally, totally love that. And what's the best advice you can give to entrepreneurs that want to grow their business, Victor?
I think the best advice you can give is make a decision that you are going to build a big business or build a business. So many guys are just playing small ball, right? Like they just going through the motions. Everything has to be planned out and put a date on it and just really get put execution behind it. Like so many guys are living a lifestyle business. You know, if you got maybe a couple employees, you're always on vacation, you're not really monetizing the business. You're running your personal life through your business. You're not running a real business. So like really start thinking about the opportunity out there. Because if you can, first off, if you have a little bit of grit and a little bit of determination, you can take over your market fast. And if you can take over your market fast, and imagine only having to work 3 to 5 years, right? How do you condense time? And for me, I want to make as much money as I can in the shortest amount of time so I can go enjoy the rest of my life. So I look about how to condense time. And the only way to do that is to decide that you want to build a real business and start putting the process and procedures in place that you need to build a big business, from setting up your sales processes, your call center, your operations, and getting a business that's sellable and scalable, right? And a business that can run without you there. And once you can do that, then you're going to be a lot happier. Right now, a lot of you guys are working really hard, but you're like, oh, I don't have to deal with all those employees. Well, right now you're dealing with everybody, your customers, your employees, everybody.
Right.
Right.
I want to figure out a way I don't have to
Great
deal with
advice.
shit, just get my reports every day. And that's where I've got to now. It's like, I just get reports. I get to see how my business is running. And I can push a couple buttons and that's it. And then I can go make more money and go spend time with my kids. So that would be my advice is just make the
Love it.
decision, want to build a big business, and then build a plan around it.
Love it, love it. And for the listeners, like, if you really want to implement, and you should be coming to the Profit Rocket event where you're going to be learning about sales, marketing, operations, all the tools and the resources will be out there. And Shreya, you want to add something to that?
Yeah, Victor, what's the best way for listeners to reach out if they're interested in attending Profit Rocket and just some more information about how to get in on that?
Yeah, I mean, the best way, obviously, you can go to events.callprofitrocket.com to get some information. And what I'll do is if you guys are listeners on here, I'm gonna send you to some links. If you guys are listeners, reach out to Mandeep or Shreya. I'm gonna give you a link for some buy one get one free tickets. That's on our general mission or party pass. We do have 20 VIP tickets left. I can offer a $500 off of any VIP tickets. So if you guys reach out to, obviously Mandeep or Shreya, they can get you those discount codes for those links. You're not going to want to miss this event. This is one of those things. I think last year it was crazy because people were talking about last year's events for 2-3 months after it. And it's one of those things that once you guys see what we do this year, and like I said, we're going above and beyond. I hired an amazing event coordination team. There's a lot of things that we're putting in place. And I want to put on a world-class event unlike anything else in the trades. And I think that's what's going to happen. If you guys show up, people are going to be jealous that you were there because that's how impactful these events are. And that's how impactful Profit Rocket is. And I'm just blessed to be able to be the one hosting it. I'm blessed to be able to have such amazing people there and just have an open network. Unlike most best practice organizations that have a closed loop and closed network, they only work with these vendors and these people. I work with everybody. And that's my thing going forward is I want to be able to have a community that's everybody works together. I don't need to keep separating the industry. Let's all come together and have a good time and grow some big businesses and make a bunch of money.
Awesome. And
Awesome.
also, what is the distinction between something like a VIP and a party pass general admission? Just because, I know the difference, but I kind of want to express that to everybody.
Yeah, so obviously the difference is, our VIP, we're going to have preferred seating. So obviously there's a lot of people there. You're going to have your preferred seating up closer to the speakers. You're going to be up close and personal. You'll actually get a meet and greet with every one of the speakers. You're going to get signed books from Marcus Luttrell. Meet Marcus Luttrell one-on-one if you're a VIP. He'll have signed books. Also, Tim Grover will be speaking only to VIP. You'll be able to meet
I'm
Tim
excited.
Grover, get some autographs, get some photos with Tim Grover. If you haven't met him, he's one of the most influential people on what I've done in success. And if you haven't read his book, Winning, I think it's called Winning, right?
Relentless.
Relentless. Yeah. His book, Relentless, is an amazing book that, just, the mindset behind winners, right? And people ask me what makes me tick and stuff like that. The guys that win they all operate the same way, right? We're relentless as shit. We don't like to lose. So I mean, Tim Grover was a trainer for Michael Jordan, Dwayne Wade, Kobe Bryant, and he was really the architect behind how they created that Mamba mentality and that killer mentality and the things that they do to win. So come just getting around Tim Grover is going to change the way you think about business and life. But on top of that, we have our own VIP track. So while everybody else is over here, they can only see certain things. They only see these things. I set up a VIP track where you're getting to meet some of the best owners, operators, trainers. We're going to have some forums, Q&As, a bunch of different things that you're not going to be able to have access to unless you're in VIP. So you're going to want to get those tickets. I'm surprised that they're not sold out yet, and they should be sold out already, because it's a massive opportunity to get a lot of knowledge and get to meet some amazing people. So that's the difference between that. Party Pass, you get access to obviously the main stage and all the breakout sessions, not the VIP sessions, but you also get access to our after party, which obviously that's where a lot of the mingling happens. That's where a lot of the, like they say, the magic happens, right? You get to meet some good people.
Magic happens, right?
That's where you get to go up to people you've been looking to, following on social media, and go have a conversation with them and ask them the questions you want to ask. And one thing I do say is, if you do come to this event, do not be shy. The guy that like they always say, the squeaky wheel gets the oil, right? You go up to some of these guys, just start talking to them. All of us are normal. We're all humans. We all want to have communication. If you've ever been to an event with me, I talk and communicate, shake everybody's hand. Like, I'm very open. Come up and talk to me. Ask any questions you want. I would love to help. And then the general mission, man, if you just want to get in the door, which no matter what, I'd suggest you minimum get in the damn door, because if you get in the door, it's going to change your business, change your life. So those are the difference between the tickets. But, you know, if I had an opportunity, I like going VIP, and that's where I would be at, because I think that's the best bang for your buck. But definitely don't miss out on the after parties. And right now, once buy one, get one free, it's like $14.95. You can get 2 tickets. It doesn't make sense not to get the party pass at the minimum.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you, Victor. We're gonna link in the podcast description, and we're gonna share. Shreya and we're gonna share it on Facebook as well. Feel free to reach out to us and book your tickets today. And again, thank you, Victor, for sharing knowledge, the tips. And this was really good podcast episode. And Shreya and we look forward to seeing you at the Profit Rocket in just like 2 weeks. Yes.
Yeah. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Make sure, like I said, if you're not part of the Facebook group right now, go to Profit Rocket Home Service Group on Facebook. Go ahead and join it. It's a free group. Come in there, get in the network. And like I said, I'd love to see you guys out at the event. We're going to be suited and booted. We're gonna look good. Come out. It's all about, like I always tell about, like, people, it's like from blue collar to red carpet, right? Like, come out, enjoy yourself, dress nice, treat yourself, man. The event is going to be amazing. The hotel, the venue, everything's amazing that we're throwing. So I'm excited to see everybody in Austin the 27th to 29th. If you do come in on the 26th, I'm going to be there. If you want, we have a little private session that night. Anybody that wants to come in, I don't care if you're general mission, party pass, VIP, I'm going to host a little one-on-one type of meeting in there. Come in there, come talk to me, whatever it is. But it's going to be, this is like a private thing, but like anybody can come in if you come in on the 26th. And we're just going to kind of mastermind together. So if you guys have the opportunity to come in on the 26th, stay the 27th, 28th, 29th, take out to 29th at night. So thank you guys for having me on the podcast. I can't wait to see you guys in a couple of weeks. It's going to be an amazing event. And like I said, I'm just blessed to have the opportunity to speak with you guys. And I'm really proud of what you guys are building. I think it's going to be a great podcast, and it's going to be something that's going to be helpful and impactful to a lot of people.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Victor.
Thank you so much, Victor.